It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we got the last of the beers sent by the wonderful Stephen Claxon. Thank you very much, Stephen. Really appreciate it. And I've kept one of the last 9th birthday cake celebration beers. It's celebrating Amundsen's 9th birthday, and it's a collaboration with North Brewing Company. So it's one of those dessert stouts. All of these beers have been dessert stouts. There's been about 3 or 4 that I've tried. And, well, we've had some like toasted maple and toasted cheese, brown cheese and waffle and all sorts of like, personally, crazy name beers, crazy name kind of dessert stouts from Amundsen in this series. I'm sure it's all been brewed as a little bit of fun, hasn't it? This one's 13.5% ABV. 13.5% ABV. And it's an espresso lava cake pastry stout. I don't know what a lava cake is. I know lava's kind of like a big red volcanic rock that's rolling down the hill in heat. Sounds like a dog, doesn't it? But no, this is espresso lava. So hopefully loads of bitter chocolate, lots of roasted flavour. Hopefully this could be, well, it's a pastry stout, so there's going to be an element of sweetness there. But let's hope with the espresso that sweetness gets balanced out with loads of roasted coffee flavours. Thank you, Stephen Claxon. Without further ado, let's get the beer out into a glass. See what we get. Here we go then. Look at this. So immediately we have alcohol legs. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that head creation. It's like big gloopy. It's like an alcoholic chocolate cake, isn't it? If you could imagine what an alcoholic chocolate cake would look like, it would probably look like this, wouldn't it? We got a 2-finger. Well, actually, look at the head dissipating quickly. That's something to look at. It had a 2-finger tan-coloured head. And look, it's vanishing before our very eyes. That's absolutely fine. The beer's 13.5% ABV. The alcohol will naturally kill off that head quite quickly. In fact, if you think of imperial stouts, anything over 12% ABV, you very rarely get a big, thick head on the beer. It just wants to dissipate really quickly. And that's what's happened here. But what's quite interesting about this beer is the fact that the other beers from Amundsen, their 9th birthday celebration beers, they've been jet black. I'm not sure if the camera's picking this up, but this looks more like a glass of Bovril gravy. It's got that kind of brownie look to it. You can see the carbonation though, as I rock the beer back and forth, you can see that carbonation struggling through the glass, struggling through that thick, gloopy liquid. Let's get the aroma. Loads of coffee. Loads of espresso coffee. Literally, like, it's like smelling a morning coffee shop or a coffee shop in the morning. Costa drive-through. Have you seen those places? I've never been to one, but I drive past the Costa drive-through 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, and they're queuing. They're queuing for coffee. I personally, if you're one of those people, please explain to me in the comments box. I don't understand. When I wake up in the morning, I wash my face with some water, get dressed, come downstairs. First thing I'm doing is flicking the kettle on. I can't function. I couldn't drive a car without a coffee in the morning. Never mind jump in a car and then drive to a coffee shop. It seems like the wrong way round. Anyway, this smells like a coffee shop with cakes in the pastry cakes in the fridges in front of you. So you're smelling the coffee being brewed and poured. You're also smelling the pastry cakes in front of you. It does smell interesting. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Every single pastry stout in the world should taste like this. Stone the crows. Stone the crows. Finally, I found a dessert stout, a pastry stout that I actually love. Not dislike, not slightly like, not like, but love. This is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Stone the crows. You start off with this really sweet, and you're like, oh no, not, and you can't even get as far as oh no, not again in your brain. Because by the time you're saying oh no, not again, like for this overly sweet stout, there's a big swooping rush of espresso coffee that just makes everything better. There's a big swirling bitterness that grabs hold of you, and I mean, in your brain you can either go down two avenues here. You can either go down the sweet shop avenue, or you can either go down the little shot of espresso, you know, nice bitterness avenue. And that's the avenue in my brain I've gone down. I've gone with the bitterness. Thank you. What a beer. What a beer. Oh, it's rich. It's rich, but it's roasty and toasty, and I've already written the headline to the thumbnail on this video. If I can be bothered, I might make another one, and I might call it Finally a Dessert Stout I Love. If I remember, if I have the time and if I remember, I will change the thumbnail to this video to Finally a Dessert Stout I Love. It's so thick and gloopy and like, oh. Starts off very sweet and chocolatey and like biting into chocolate cake. That sweet, you know. You've just eaten a steak in a restaurant and you've found a little bit of room for some Black Forest Gatto or something like that. And you're just enjoying your Black Forest Gatto and, oh. Wonderful. And then the bitterness of the coffee comes through. It's a brilliant beer, it really is. Every single pastry / dessert stout that I've drank in the UK by UK brewers have been like, it's like they don't get it. It's like they're leaning too far into sweetness. I'll pick on somebody, I don't mind. I had one of those, in fact, I'll get the thing now. In my review of the, I did the Naughty and Nice coconut milk chocolate imperial stout by vocation. Obviously, a Celebrations rip-off. They did all of these different beers on the back. And I cursed the beer. That Naughty and Nice coconut milk chocolate imperial stout, I absolutely cursed it. Because it could have been fantastic. It could have been great. It could have been the best thing ever in terms of imperial stouts, if Vocation nailed it. But like every other UK brewery making these dessert stouts, these super rich, sweet beers, there was no balance. There was no balance, and it was like they dropped a ball. They dropped a massive ball. This could have been fantastic. It could have been amazing. Yet it was just a sweet, horrible mess of a beer. I have so much trust and faith in Scandinavian beer. If ever I see Scandinavian beer in a bottle shop from Norway, Denmark, Finland, I'll always go, do you know what, I'm going to chance that. I'm going to pay, because it's expensive beer, I'm going to pay that little bit more money, but I'm going to buy that Scandinavian beer, because I know that every time I drink Scandinavian beer, the Scandinavians just seem to know what, not necessarily like the Brits know what they're doing. Of course they do. It's just the Scandinavians seem to kind of like have this extra level for me, this extra layer of quality. And this might be a sore subject for a few of you. A few of you might be shaking your head at this, and a few of you may not be agreeing with me at all. But for me, it's fact. For me, it's fact. Scandinavian beer just seems to have this extra level of quality that the likes of, and this is unfortunate, the likes of Vocation for me don't have in terms of their dessert stouts. This is just phenomenal. Yes, it's a dessert stout, but it's a stout with bitterness as well. There's some coffee bitterness in there. Perfectly balanced. I'm going to rate it. It doesn't look the greatest beer in the world, does it? Look at it. It looks a little bit like Bovril. But honestly, oh my goodness me. I've thrown beer all over my plug. Just waiting for my phone to blow up. Honestly, I mean, that liquid is fantastic. It looks terrible. I mean, I'm not going to mess about. That can gives me the shivers. That can, I'm thinking, oh my goodness me, you know, look at the sweetness there. I'm going to be like crying drinking this, but I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed it. Happy birthday to Amundsen. Well done to get him for 9 years. You brew some brilliant beers. Please may that continue. I like this beer enough to give it a Stone the Crow's 9 out of 10. It's a 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments nearly got there. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.